Hello, it's time for lesson 2.4. We're going to be adding and subtracting decimals. Make sure you write that at the top of your first available page in your math notebook, as well as your I can statement. Stop the video if you need to. So let's get started. Whoops. All right, so we're going to start with a word problem. Ryan has 60 cents in one pocket and 20 cents in the other, so how much money does she have? Now, I would suggest stacking your numbers, and we're going to be using dollar and cents notation since this involves money. Now, really important, when you are adding and subtracting decimals, you must line up the decimal points. So if we go ahead and add these up, we start far to the right, 0, 6 and 2 is 8, and that decimal comes right down into our answer. And again, we use that 0 in the ones place with the dollar sign. Let's look at another one. Trevor had 62 cents. He found another 24 cents under the couch cushions. So how much does he have now? Again, this is dollar and cents notation. We're making absolutely sure that we're lining up those decimals. Start to the far right like you've always been taught. We add up the columns and we have a total of 86 cents. Now, sometimes we're going to need to, I guess you would probably call it carry. And there are two ways to do that. So let me show you. If we're going to add 7 hundredths and 5 hundredths, we want to stack them up, lining up our decimals. Now, 7 and 5 equals 12, so I'm going to have to put down my 2 and carry the 1. Now, I can either carry it up above or down below like this. So instead of going up here, I'm carrying it down here. Some kids prefer that. That is an option for you. Again, the decimal is lined up with the 0 brought down. Or 7 plus 5 is 12. You can carry that number up on top. So that's what I mean by new groups below. This would be below. This would be above. Same thing. It's just a matter of where you're putting that number when you carry it. You get the same answer. Decide which way you like the best. If you need to visualize it, that would be like having 7 pennies plus 5 pennies for a total of 12 cents. There's your group of 10 and your 2 pennies, 12 cents, 1/10, 2 hundredths. So let's look at another problem. When we stack this one up, okay, now this, remember, means 4 tenths, or if you were using money, 4 dimes. This is 2 hundredths, so that would be 2 pennies. So when we stack them up and we line up those decimals, it looks a little weird. Remember, you can put a 0 right there and you still have 4 tenths, or 4 dimes, which is 40 cents. Doesn't change the value, it changes just the way we say it. So now we add them up, bring our decimal down, and we would have 42 cents. Look at this one. Now we have the whole number 11 plus 78 hundredths. That 11 is to the left of the decimal. So that would be like having $11 plus 78 cents for a total. Look at what it looks like when we stack them. If that's uncomfortable to you, go ahead and put in the decimal and the 2 zeros. That 11 all by itself means the same as this. It's either way, it's still 11 or $11. So you add them up, you end up with $11.78. Let's look at subtracting. We're going to do it basically the same way. Tess had 70 cents. She gave 30 cents to Sierra. How much money does she have left? So we stack them up, 70 cents minus 30 cents. Line up our decimal. She has 40 cents left. If you want to see it visually, there's your 70 cents minus your 30 cents, and you can see the 40 cents left. New problem. Bryce had 34 cents. He spent 12 cents. How much money does he have now? So he spent some, so he has less than what he started, so it's a subtraction problem. Line up the decimals, do my subtracting, If you need to see it visually, there's 10, 20, 30. There's the 34 cents. There's the 10, 11, 12. And you can see that we have 10, 22 cents, 22 cents left. Now, sometimes when we're subtracting, we're going to need to borrow. So look at this example. We have 40 cents minus 2 cents. So 10, 20, 30, and then I broke the next dime into 10 pennies to make a total of 40 cents. So we take our 40 minus our 2, and you can see that if we have 0, we can't subtract 2 from it. So we're going to need to what? Borrow. So the 4 becomes 3. So imagine me starting with 4 dimes here. I borrowed from the 40. We have 30 left, but then I turned that 1 dime into 10 pennies. That's what borrowing is. So now I've got my 10 pennies minus 2 leaves me with 8. The 3 dimes minus none gives me 30. So if you need to see that visually, I'm going to take my 2 pennies away, and then you can see that we have 38 left. Let's look at another one. 23 minus 1 56 hundredths. If it were money, it'd be $23 minus $1.56. Again, you can add your decimal and your zeros. It still is 23. We haven't changed the value, so we're going to need to borrow. This time, I know that I can't borrow from 0, so I need to go over to the 3. I'm going to take that $3, turn it into $2, and I'm going to move over 10 dimes. I need to borrow one of those dimes, so I'm going to have 9, and then I'm going to turn that into 10 pennies. So 10 minus 6 is 4, 9 minus 5 is 4. I bring down my decimal. 2 minus 1 is 1, and 2 minus nothing is 2. So I would have 21 44 hundredths left. So here are your practice problems. Some of them you will be adding, some you'll be subtracting, so watch the signs. Remember to stack the problems, line up the decimal points. So you'll be stacking these, showing your work, box your answer. See you soon.